So at the end of How to Train Your Dragon, dragons and Vikings finally live in peace with no problems whatsoever. If that was true, this show wouldn't exist. Okay, I'm going to admit, when I first heard about DreamWorks making a TV series based on the movie, I thought, oh, come on, now you're just milking it. Why can't you just let a good movie just be itself? But apparently, because of How to Train Your Dragon 2 being a direct continuation of not only the movie but the series, I thought, alright, fine, I'm going to take a look at it. And, well, to be honest, I guess I was a little too harsh on it. First episode is called How to Start a Dragon Academy, and this now gives us a little insight as to how Berk transformed from how it was in How to Train Your Dragon 1 to How to Train Your Dragon 2. Okay, first off, I am going to give you a heads up. Yes, the animation is a little crappy. Maybe not crappy, that's not a good word. I guess if I had to categorize it, it'd be like Toy Story 2. I mean, the characters don't look all plasticky, but it's not quite perfected yet. It's still pretty good. And the frame rate seemed a little off. I don't know if you noticed that. Actually, you probably should notice that because everyone looks a little jittery. And so we've also lost like a third of the original voice cast. We still have Jay Baruchel voicing Hiccup, America Ferrera, Christopher Mintz-Plaze, and T.J. Miller voicing their original characters. We lost Jonah Hill as Snotlout, Kristen Wiig as Roughnut. It's going to take a while before I actually memorize them. Gerard Butler as Stoic the Vast, and Craig Ferguson as Gobber. And I can understand that. Their schedules are very busy. I mean, come on, Gerard Butler. And Craig Ferguson, and I can understand Craig Ferguson, who was still doing The Late Show at the time. I don't know if he's still doing it now. I think I heard somewhere that he retired from that, but, I digress. Alright, so Vikings and dragons are no longer fighting each other, but there's still a little bit of problems because, well, they're dragons. They're still kind of wild creatures. Not too wild, though, but it's just... Okay, the colors of the dragons are very impressive. I mean, natters aren't always blue, and nightmares aren't always red. And it's not exactly like the movie, okay, in quality wise, but the humor is still there. I just always rewind and laugh every time I see Snotlout getting eaten by his dragon. Right, we're introduced to Mulch and Bucket. And Bucket is appropriately named because on his head is a bucket, and he also suffers from Dory syndrome, aka short-term memory loss. Because within a few seconds, he's holding up a bag that's supposed to have a fish in it, but there's a hole in it, and he goes, "I ate it already. Did I enjoy it?" So, though he's good comic relief. We're also introduced to kind of like our villain-like antagonist. I don't know. His name is Mildew, and his character. There can be many names for him. I call him Mildew the Troll, Mildew the Conservative, whichever you want. And he's just against dragons living amongst Vikings. He's kind of antisocial. I know that's not really the right way to describe it, but yeah, he's not a people person, and he's not a dragon person. The only person he kind of is a sheep person, and he only has one. and the voice of Mildew is of course pretty slimy, and I almost thought it was Mark Hamill who was doing that, but it turns out it's Stephen Root, but he does a good job anyway. And so the whole point of the episode is that even though Vikings and dragons are not fighting each other, they're still difficult to live with because dragons are still pretty much wild creatures. You know, they're like they're taking food that smells delicious. They love fish. They're running around, causes havoc, and they fly over Book. They fly over Berk, dropping waste. Pooping. They say dragon poo. I've tried to avoid that. I didn't know how I was going to do that, but it's the funny thing. We went from the movie went from trying to find your own path and the series says dragon poo within the first 5 minutes. But the episode was pretty good because our main heroes are trying to train the dragons to not be as destructive, but it turns out to be difficult, and in the end it turns out they're using their nature to help people. So they still haven't quite assimilated with each other, but they've learned to work with each other, and that's pretty good. And the ending was hilarious because Stoic told Hiccup that tomorrow they're going to cage the dragons, and then they're going to send them off away from Berk. And Mildew, being the troll that he is, ratted him out, and so now they're all in the kill ring, and Stoic is just looking all, chief and serious, and it looks like he's going to punish them, but then Gobber interrupts saying, "We're giving you your own Dragon Academy!" And it's like, Gobber, I wanted to tell him! Oh. It's still it still makes me laugh. And so that's how the kill ring became the Berk's Dragon Academy. And so, I actually kind of forgotten in the beginning of How to Train Your Dragon 2, that's what we see in the dragon race, and I kind of forgotten that was the kill ring because it didn't have the chain dome over it. But what a dramatic change from it. So yeah, I was a little harsh on the series. I still think it is kind of milking something that's popular, but at least it's expanding on the world instead of just, doing what the Aladdin TV series did. Which that was still good. I remember watching that, but this is more about dragons. So I was kind of happy. I was happy with this episode. So that makes one episode down, about 39 episodes left. Well, this should be a fun journey.